Question number 6, starting with you, Brother Jerry. What is the most pressing issue facing Grand Lodge today?
Well, I think the most pressing issue is membership, and specifically retention of members that we get. I've heard our most worshipful brother, Jim Mendoza, say that currently we're getting in for 2 or 3 new members, and for every 2 or 3 new members we get, we lose 4 or 5 out the back door for some reason. And we need to find out why that's happening, what's going on. We need to do some information with our brothers that we're losing and find out what is it that's making them leave Masonry. And we need to keep these brothers. It's one thing to get new brothers, but once we have them, we have to keep those brothers. I think the 6-step program has gone a long way to help that. It's certainly a good first step, but we need to do some other things to improve our lodges so that we keep these brothers. One of the things, like we've already talked about, is using this forum like we have today to create some educational materials to where we can use it as Masonic education in our stated meetings to make those meetings a little bit more interesting for our brothers once they join. Education is certainly a key to keeping some of these brothers. So I think we need to improve on educational materials and find other ways to keep Masonry interesting and keep some of these brothers in our lodges once they join. Thank you.
Brother Chris, same question. What is the most pressing issue facing Grand Lodge today?
The pressing issue for Masonry is different than what the pressing issue is for Grand Lodge. If you look at Masonry as a whole, I agree very much with what Brother Jerry has said. If you think of Grand Lodge, however, I think the most pressing issue is something that is prevalent in society as a whole. The constant comment that you hear, and I heard this just the other night in my own lodge, Grand Lodge did this to me, X, whatever it is. Grand Lodge did that. It reminds me of the saying that we hear in the government did this, the government did that. Problem is, Grand Lodge is us. We have found the enemy, and the enemy is us. What we need to do is peel back from that kind of mentality. And to be honest, many people don't know this, but my father made himself available for Junior Grand Warden 3 times. And I came across, as I was going through his papers recently, an article he had written for the Masonic Monitor here in the Seattle-King County area. And he was addressing exactly that same question 20 years ago. We need to get past Grand Lodge versus the local lodges. Grand Lodge is here to support the local lodges. We're providing programs for the local lodges, but only to the extent that the lodges want them. Goes to the independence, that thinking for each lodge what works best in their communities. Grand Lodge can provide the opportunity to do so, but Grand Lodge doesn't do things to lodges. We got to get past that mentality. Thank you.
Brother John, same question. What is the most pressing issue facing Grand Lodge today?
I think the most pressing issue for Grand Lodge has been stated in various different ways here. Grand Lodge has to have a relevance to the local lodges, and the lodges have to have relevance to the community. And somehow that river has to flow. As with any franchise in any business, when you hang your shingle, you have to represent the mission and values of that organization in which you belong. We're spread out over 72,000 miles. We have almost 240 lodges in many different configurations with lots of different needs. But at the root, we have a common fraternity. And Grand Lodge's primary role, in my opinion, and I think we're moving well in that direction under the leadership we've had over the last few years, is making those values, those roots of Masonry ever more clear into the mind of its new members, so that the fruit that comes from that root comes out into the community and the community embraces it. One of the things that we've had trouble with, I think, is not in being as clear and concise about who we are and what our mission is to create a better society. And we create a better society first by creating a new heart and creating a new Mason. And that is where Grand Lodge can jump in and be that support to aid the local lodges in achieving those goals.